with another video. Hope you're doing fine and smiling. So guys, today we've got a fantastic bike video for you guys. It's a bike vlog. We've got four super bikes. We've got four bikes, out of which three are vintage and one is a super bike. So we're gonna be talking bikes today, and we are here with Ethan.
Hello everyone.
From our Lenovo unboxing video. And look who's photobombing here. We've got a Pajero 4-wheel drive, the same patch we took to that Vaishali drive. I'll link that video somewhere here, left or right. Let's get on with it. So guys, we have the Yezdi here. We're starting off with the Yezdi Roadking. So this is a Czechoslovakian motorcycle.
So this is a 1994 Yezdi Roadking. My dad picked it up back in 2018 and we did a full restoration. It looks amazing now and the paint is still held up in most places. So before my dad picked this up, we had a RX 135. Actually it was an RX 100 running on a 135 bore. My dad was not very happy about the modifications it had, so he knocked that off and picked this up. So it's an amazing bike to ride. It feels good. It's like very different. So this lever has three functions. It's a gear lever, a kicker and also a clutch lever. So this bike has a unique feature. It's an auto clutch feature. So you have to get it adjusted and then you don't even have to use a clutch lever. You can use that same lever as a clutch and a gear lever.
So guys, so this is the kicker rod. So basically, if you want, this is now in the gear shifter arrangement. So if you just push it in, this is a kicker. So this is where you push this and then it comes back. So this is the kicker and then this is the gear. But then here you also have an arrangement where this is a half clutch. You push it halfway up, it's a clutch. So basically you engage the gear and then you slowly let go of the lever, the bike will start moving. So that's how it is. So it is clutch lever, a gear lever and a kicker in the same rod. So that's the beauty of these motorcycles. And this is where you tickle the carburetor, and then fuel on and off is on the other side, I believe, no?
Yeah.
And this is the exhaust of the motorcycle. Can we start it up, Idu?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead. Okay, fuel is on.
We have to pump it before starting it. Beautiful.
Amazing. It runs good, guys. This bike is amazing. So good to ride this bike.
Loved it. What a beautiful motorcycle. Seriously speaking, it sounds like a charm. And this bike, it looks so macho. It sort of reminds you what kind of a man you are. Guys, one more interesting thing about the Yezdi Roadking is that this bike has swappable hubs. Let me show you what I mean. So guys, you see this? The hub? That's a big bulky hub, you see, and the same thing you can see in the front as well, which means this is one of those motorcycles where you could just swap the front wheel to the back and the back wheel to the front, and you can just attach the cables and the brakes will just start to work. You don't have different systems for the front and back. So that's the beauty of this motorcycle. Any more words to add on that, Ethan?
No, I think we covered it all. That's it.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
I wanted to talk about the DB killer as well. We've got a DB killer installed here. If I don't know if the camera is doing justice, there is a DB killer there. The bike will sound even more throatier and more crisper if we get that DB killer out. But then, of course, due to legal issues and all that, we had to put the DB in. And the sound you just heard was with the DB installed. Yep. So guys, this is the 1976 Bullet. MEZ 180. That's the number plate. So the beautiful cast iron engine and a neutral finder. More about this bike will be spoken to you about by Ethan. There you go.
Hello everyone, so this is our 1976 standard Bullet. It's turning 50 next year, so we've owned it for about 20 years. A lot has happened, so I'm really excited. It's turning 50 next year, as you can see. Though it has a few oil leaks and all that, it's the character of the bike. This engine runs amazing, runs like it's brand new. So the bore and everything is all new, very well maintained, and it's very unique too, as the right side gear and the kicker and gear are on the same side. It's all on the right side, and of course you have this neutral finder, so no matter what gear you're in, tap that, you're back in neutral. Very unique.
So for example, let's say I'm in the 4th gear. I tap that neutral finder and it resets the gear, is it?
Yes, it comes back to neutral, like the one between first and second.
That is amazing. That is amazing, dude. Wow. Let's hear the thump, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
Guys, one more thing about the Bullet is starting this motorcycle is an art, honestly speaking, right, Ethan?
Of course, it takes a lot to get, how to start it. Yeah.
True, I tried giving it a shot, and I had to struggle a lot because the way you throttle inputs have to be very smooth. It has to be linear, can't be sudden, and the decompression, you need to treat it like a proper baby. Otherwise, the baby kicks you back, and you're gonna have a thigh pain or a leg pain for about a week. So you don't want that. So we've got the amp meter here. That's the amp meter, and we've got the decompression switch there. So we push that switch, and then we pump it slowly until the amp meter, decompress it.
See how it's there in the side like that?
Yeah.
If you start it like that, you're gonna break your leg.
Yeah.
It's gonna break your leg if you start it when it's not in the middle.
Yeah. So now let's
always decompress and bring it to the middle. There you go. Now it's in the middle.
Now if we kick it, it should start like a
start
baby.
right up.
Beautiful cat purring.
Yep, let's do it.
Let's go. That low idle, the big flywheel in play. So no throttle, guys, no throttle.
This bike has a unique ignition system. It's not like what you would find in any other bike. It's actually a point type ignition system. So it's quite nice. It's very like old school. It's not gonna let you down. It's got such character, this bike.
Seriously, man, it looks so beautiful. So now the next motorcycle in the lineup is the Hero Honda Splendor, which is a 1997 model. It is about 28 years old, and this was the first showroom motorcycle that we purchased, and it was purchased by my uncle. So he used it for college, and we are doing it now. Let's go. Hero Honda Splendor 1997 model. Let's go, Ethan.
Alright, so this is our 1997 Splendor. As you heard, it's 28 years old. It's been sitting in a corner for about 3-4 years. We felt bad and thought of giving it a life. We took it out, gave it a restoration, and here it is, shining brand new. Like
What
it
a
came.
beauty.
It literally looks like we bought it brand new from the showroom.
So what on all guys, I want to tell you about this headlight. We had to go through a lot of trouble to source it. We struggled a lot, but you know what, this headlight gives this bike the actual character this bike came with from the showroom. It's a flat rectangular headlight, and it's made by a company called Unitech, and this is the original headlight that came for this bike. That is how amazing this is. And we've got transparent indicator lights, but we're going to be soon changing that to a yellow one that came from the factory. But the bulb is white bulb, but then the cover is a yellow plastic part. And this is the engine, completely rebuilt. with a factory fitted bore. It's a 95 cc.
It's a 100 cc.
It's
100 cc.
cc, and it makes about 7 bhp of power. And the interesting part here is it is a rod operated rear wheel a brake system, drum system, unlike the cable ones that we see these days. And such a simple motorcycle. And guys, one more thing that I want you to notice is the paintwork here. If I zoom in, you guys can see the blue sparkle that is visible. So that's the midnight black kind of paintwork that we've done on this bike. Under direct sunlight, it will sparkle like a star. There you go. You can see that here too. There you go. Perfectly visible. Wow, beautiful. There you go. Ethan, do the honors, brother.
All right, let's fire it up.
Yep. Baby, as smooth as it rolled out of the factory. Guys, I also forgot to tell you, this motorcycle also has the stock gauges that came with the motorcycle, and we decided to not change it to give this bike the character that it came with. These are the gauges. 26 kilometers done. Beautiful. That's the original pricol gauges. Guys, those were the vintage ones that I was talking about in the beginning of this video. Now we've got the dessert, the master of the show. There you go, the beautiful Suzuki Bandit 1250S. It is a 1250cc Superbike, and for this part of the video we're gonna be taking the help of Freddy, who owns all these motorcycles and who is a proud owner of the Bandit as well, and he is going to be talking to us about his Bandit and tell us more about it. Let's invite him. Hi Fred.
Hey, hi Kevin, good to see you.
So tell me more about your steed.
Yeah, I just picked this up recently. It's been about a month, maybe a couple of months since I got this. I was on the lookout for a Bandit for a very, very long time. I'm really, really happy and glad to have found a KA plate bike. But to be very honest, with what I hear is only about 40 bikes were ever sold in India. So if you would ask me why Bandit, I was always a Bullet guy. So I started off with that cast iron Bullet, and I've towed on it quite a bit. And then the Yezdi Roadking. I never towed on the Yezdi Roadking because I always thought that will seize because it's a two-stroke. I was never a two-stroke guy. And then when I decided to start riding, I was on the lookout, and then I picked up a Versys 650. It was a fantastic bike. I bought that in 2017, rode that for about 50-60,000 kilometers. With my wife, we've towed quite a bit. And then there's always a stinging feeling of owning Inline 4. To be very honest, I was never an Inline 4 fan because with all the Inline 4s that I've ridden, at the time of my research, buying a touring bike and me eventually choosing the Versys 650, Inline 4s have a fundamental problem. At least the Inline 4 tourers that were sold in India, the power band comes in very late. That's not very practical for touring purposes, especially when you're carrying luggage, when you have a Pillion. Power band is too high in the rev range, and when it comes in leaps and bounds. So one of the reasons why I never liked the Inline 4s until I traveled to the UK. My brother lives in the UK. He had a Bandit FA. It was called the 1250 GSX 1250 FA in the UK. The European market had a fully fed version. Same engine, fundamentally the same. Technically, it's exactly the same as this. So me and my wife toured the whole of UK on that bike. So we went all the way to Scotland, we did Wales, we did the whole of Midlands, you know, the Peak Districts and all of that. I fell in love with that bike simply because of the fact that the torque that comes in is so early in your rev range. It behaves exactly like a big board twin cylinder with an inline 4 grunt. And everyone who owns it loves it so much that they don't want to sell it. So I waited, and about a year and a half ago, I sold my Versys simply because I used it for about 6 to 7 years and I rode it really well. It's a fantastic bike, and I really wanted to not really upgrade, try something else. And that's when the Bandit bug bit me again, right? So I was behind a couple of guys. It's a very, very long story. I can keep talking about it for hours on end as to how I finally managed to convince, and thanks to my friends again, who convince the previous owner to part with this bike. Pristine bike. It's done about 85,000 kilometers, but again, this bike has proven across the world for its reliability. There are people who've ridden this bike for like 4 or 5 lakh kilometers without even a valve clearance check. That's how robust and bulletproof this engine is. Yes, it doesn't come with any of the electronic gizmos, no traction control, no ABS, no nonsense. It is just the rider and the bike with 1255 cc of raw muscle torque. And the torque comes in so early, you'll be surprised the kind of smiles that this baby can put on your face.
I've heard this bike shares the same engine with the Suzuki Hayabusa. Is that true?
Your Busa is identical, the bottom half. Busa is a lot more rev-friendly engine. I think it can go up to 12,000-14,000 RPM. Lot more high revving because it has to reach speeds of 350 and upwards. So this has the same internals as a Busa. In fact, a Busa was born out of this engine is what history says.
So when you say tourer, how is the riding position? Have you gone long distances with this, or how is the pillion comfort?
Yes, the triangle is perfect for me. I think for a person my size, it's amazing because I was a little intimidated by its seating position simply because I come from a adventure touring versus kind of an environment. But it took a couple of weeks for me to get adjusted to this triangle and this geometry. Pillion, you can see the seat is fantastic. It's got a really wide seat. Yes, the foot pegs are a little high for a tall person at the back. Maybe it can cause a little bit of issue because of the upswept exhaust. But my wife was pretty happy. I think she gave me the sign off saying that up to 5 hours she's happy. The real problem is if you really get a little over ambitious on the highway and bring the throttle a little harder, your spouse is going to be missing from the rear seat. So that's a danger.
So Fred, what about the accessories? I see some add-ons you've put on there. So let's talk about the accessories that you've put onto this motorcycle.
Well, this bike is pretty much bone stock. I haven't really added anything myself. Everything that you see on this bike except the RNG engine guards were done by the previous owner. He was a very tasteful gentleman. He's done a lot of work. These came from my brother's bike in the UK. So when he sold his 1250 FA, he had apparently removed the RNG guards that he'd bought for that bike and he shipped them to me and hydro dipped, fitted them here. Everything else is pretty much stock. So all of this came with the bike. It has a PPF on the tank. I'm not very happy with the way they've done the PPF work, but I will redo it again. The exhaust, of course, this is stock. As I told, it came with an arrow exhaust. I will be changing that pretty soon. The bike already has a brand new Metzeler tire. It still has plenty of juice on it. This is an MRA screen made in Germany specifically for the Bandit. You can see the Bandit size, so it's made for the Bandit. It's slightly taller than the stock windscreen, so it kind of keeps the buffeting away. For my height, I feel it's pretty okay up to speeds of 130, 140. Beyond that, there is a slight buffeting, but I'm planning to fix that by adding a windscreen extender. So I would do that. It has a Cobra chain oiler. I'm sure you guys must have heard about Scott oilers. Scott oilers is an automatic unit which basically works out of vacuum out of the engine. This is manual. I love this because you have the liberty to choose when you would like to lube your chain. So you just have to twist it, and there'll be a few drops of oil going onto your engine. That's one. And of course there is a temperature gauge that's been added right there. So this kind of shows you the engine temperature just like how you would have it in a car. So the idea is you start revving more once it reaches the optimum operating temperature. You have an USB charger, you have a Mad Dog switch. There are, yes, bare bones pretty much. The dials are nothing to be very proud of, but it gives you what you need.
So guys, we have the Arrow exhaust cam that came with it. There you go.
Luckily these bikes came with a slip-on system, unlike the new age bikes which mandate full system replace, right? So this is a slip-on. So it comes with an Arrow exhaust specifically made for this bike. This is imported from the US. You can remove the DB killer if you feel over ambitious and you really want to land up in jail. But yes, a fantastic sounding exhaust. Maybe we could do another video once I replace this for the next ride.
We're gonna start the Bandit and we're gonna listen to it.
Alright everyone, we're gonna fire up the Bandit now.
Hey, let's go! That's 4-stroke, 4-cylinder madness. What you're hearing here is the stock exhaust that came from the factory. Okay, that itself is such a huge can. Imagine that Arrow exhaust, how it will sound. But this bike has a special exhaust system which gives a nice whistling whine above 4000 RPM. So that you will not be able to hear in the Arrow. Arrow is throaty, but the whistling will entirely go. Of course, it's not as much as the Triumph's whistle, but then yep, it's there. And thank you so much, Fred, for having us here and talking to us about your motorcycles.
Always a pleasure, buddy. I'm so glad to have such motorheads in my life as my nephews and sons. I hope you guys continue the legacy.
With pleasure. Alright then guys, till I see you guys in the next video. Have fun, take care, eat well and love you all. Cheers.